welcome to my channel. So in the today's lecture we are going to discuss one example of the second normal form. In the last video we discussed about the basic definition of the second normal form. Okay, so in this video we will be looking at if the given relation is in second normal form or not. Okay, if there is a lot of redundancy present in your relation, then what we will do? We will be decomposing our relation into many relations to remove the redundancy. Okay, so firstly what we have a one table in which we have 5 attributes A, B, C, D and E. Okay, we have a one table in which 5 attributes are present A, B, C, D and E. So by looking at the attributes of the relation, what we are doing, we are determining the various kind of functional dependencies of this relation. Okay, so now what we will be doing, we will be checking that whether our relation is in second normal form or not. Okay, so when your relation would be in the second normal form, when there is no partial dependency. Okay, when there is no partial dependencies. If the part of your candidate key is determining a known key attribute, then what does it mean? It means that that relation is not in the second normal form. There is a partial dependency. Okay, so that kind of redundancy which arises due to partial dependency. If your part of key determines a known key attribute. So what we will be doing? We will be removing that redundancy by decomposing the relation into many relations. Okay, so firstly what we will be doing? We will be determining the candidate key of this relation. Okay, what is the candidate key? So by looking at these functional dependencies, we will be finding out our candidate key. So if you look at B, E and D, only these 3 attributes are present at the right hand side. So only these 3 attributes can be determined. So what are the remaining attributes? A and C. Okay, these 2 attributes are not present at the right hand side. So we should definitely have to include these 2 attributes in the candidate key, because candidate key is something with the help of which we are able to determine all of the other attributes. Okay, so let me check if AC is a candidate key or not. So with the help of AC, firstly I would be determining AC. Okay, so if you look at this first functional dependency, alone A is enough to determine the attribute B. Okay, so any number of attributes you add to A, definitely you would be determining attribute B. Okay, so A is sufficient to determine B. So adding any number of attributes to A would be determining the attribute B. Okay, so now if you look at this functional dependency, alone C is enough to determine the attribute D. So any number of additional attributes to this attribute definitely would be determining attribute D. Okay, so with the value of attribute A and C, I am able to determine the value of attribute B. For one value of AC, I am getting one value of B. Okay, and for that value of B, I am getting only one value of E. Okay, so there is a kind of transitivity. So with the help of AC also, we are able to determine attribute E. Okay, so there is a transitivity. We have discussed all these concepts of functional dependency in the last videos. We discussed it very clearly. Okay, so if you look at it with the help of AC as a composite attribute, if I use it as a candidate key, so with it I am able to determine all the other attributes. Either it is A, B, C, D or E. All the attributes with the help of this AC attribute we are able to determine. Okay, so we can use this AC composite attribute as the candidate key. So what is going to be my candidate key? AC. Okay, AC is going to be my candidate key. Okay, so if you observe one thing, if I am having only one attribute as a candidate key, if I am having only one attribute as a candidate key, what does it mean? It means that the all values of that K attribute is unique. There is no two values same of the K attribute. Okay, so that is the simple meaning if we have only one attribute as a candidate key. But if we have many number of attributes, if we consider many attributes combinedly as a candidate key, what does that mean? It means that if you consider alone A, there is a lot of duplicated values present. Alone A, if you consider. Alone C, there are also lots of duplicated value present in attribute C. But combinedly, all the values are unique. Individually, if you look at it, there is a lot of duplicated values. But when you combine it together, all the values of that composite attribute or the composite key is unique. That is the simple meaning of the composite key. Okay, so now we have calculated our candidate key. Okay, we have calculated our candidate key. Now we have to check whether our relation is in second normal form or not. Okay, so AC is acting as the candidate key together. Okay, so what we are doing now? We are checking whether our relation is in second normal form or not. Okay, so if you look at it, the part of this key, AC together acting as a candidate key. So the part of the key, A, there is a lot of duplicated values present in A attribute alone. Okay, and what is the purpose of studying all the normal forms? We have to remove the redundancy. Okay, so there are a lot of duplicated values present in the A attribute. Okay, and it is determining B attribute. A is determining B attribute. We have lot of duplicated values. Wherever you see duplicated values in attribute A at the same positions, at the same locations, you will find the duplicated values in attribute B because A is determining attribute B. Wherever you find duplicated values in A attribute, the same positions you will find the duplicated values in B attribute. Okay, so with the help of A, I am determining attribute B. able to determining both the attributes. Okay, because A is determining B and B is further determining attribute E. Okay, so with the help of A, I am able to determine both the attributes B and E. Wherever we will be finding the duplicate values in attribute A, the same positions you would be finding the duplicated values in attribute B and E. Okay, and our purpose is to remove the duplicacy, to remove the redundancy. So now we are getting that we are getting all the attributes in which redundant values are present. A, B and E, all these three attributes have the redundant or duplicated values. So what we have to do now? We have to make a one separate table for all these three attributes, because there is a lot of redundancy present in these three attributes. Okay, so this was the first situation, this was the first point where our relation was not in the second normal form. So if you look at it, C attribute, C alone having a lot of redundancy or duplicated values. Okay, combinedly A and C acting as the unique, but alone C also have many number of duplicated values. Okay, so C is determining attribute D. Wherever you will find the duplicated values in attribute C, the same positions you would find the duplicated values in the attribute D. We also have to make a separate table for this duplicated values. Okay, so our normalization concept is we have to remove the redundancy. Wherever you find the redundancy, make a separate table of that redundancy. Okay, you will just storing only one value in the separate table. If you are making a combined table, okay, you have to store the same value again and again. But if you make a separate table, we are just storing value only once and we are giving reference in the another table. Okay. So, what we will be doing? We will be making a one separate table for attributes A, B and E. Okay, there is a redundancy, lot of duplicated data is there. So we will be making a one separate table for A, B and E. And the second duplicacy we find is actually here. There is a lot of redundancy present. Okay, so let me tell you one thing. If C is determining D, so obviously there is a redundancy. But after looking at the type of the attribute, you would get to know that whether there is a lot of redundancy present or there is a little bit redundancy. If there is a little bit redundancy, then you really don't need to decompose it. Okay, but if there is a lot of redundancy present, we have to decompose it into the separate relations. Next we have C and D. Next we have C and D. There is also redundancy present in these attributes. So we will be making a one separate table for this functional dependency. Okay. So if you look at this relation and this relation, both are the different relations. Till now there is not any kind of connection or relationship present between these two relations. So there is actually no any mean to decompose a relation into many relation if there is not any kind of relationship. So definitely the different tables should have some relationship. So what we will be doing for this C and for this A attribute? We will be making the one separate table, A and C. Okay, we are making a one separate table for this AC, which is your candidate key. With the help of this table, you can join these two relations. Okay, because these two tables has no connection till now. If we shouldn't have any common attribute, then you cannot join these two relations. So what we are doing, we are making a one separate relation for A and C, which is acting like our candidate key. Okay, so with the help of A attribute, we can join these two tables. Okay, then which attributes we will be getting in our relation after joining A, B, C, E. Okay, now we have this relation and this relation. If we have to join these two relations, we will be joining it with the help of this common attribute. Okay, so it is very important that we should have a one common attribute if we have to combine two relations. Okay, so this way we can combine these two relations with the help of this table. Okay, so I hope that you are clear with second normal form. Okay, so our main purpose is we have to remove the redundancy. So if your part of key is determining some non-key attribute, so there is a some redundancy definitely would be present in your attribute, okay, in your part of the key attribute. That's why we are using multiple attributes as a candidate key. So I hope that you are clear with this example. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you have any question, I have mentioned my email ID in the description box. You can contact me on that email ID. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel.